Let's take a look at the chart action for Polkadot. Alright, so here are the next targets that I'm looking at, and here are the things that I'm paying attention to. So we're on the weekly time frame right now, and it looks like we're kind of in this channel pattern, bouncing in between these two trend lines right here. Let's go ahead and delete everything, and I'll show you where I'm kind of looking at from scratch. We have resistance right here, support right here, and support right here. The main thing I'm kind of watching right now, though, is this trend line going to the downside right here. Let's switch over to the daily time frame. So the thing that I'm really watching is this downtrend, and until we break this downtrend going to the upside, then I'm gonna assume that we're gonna continue to head down and look for lower levels. So the levels that I'd be looking at are previous support levels. One of them is right here. Let's go ahead and do a horizontal line right here. We're on trading view, and this is sitting at around 10.95. If we go over the weekly time frame, I was kind of looking at a little bit higher, more around $12, where the body lines up. It's the bottom of the body right here. We wicked down on the weekly, but I think maybe this 1250 might be like more of a conservative target. So I'm kind of looking at that area more than the lower level, sitting around maybe around 10.30 or something. Either one between this area, I think, would be the next spot that we would hope for a bounce. We'd hopefully want to bounce on this area, because if we get below that, then we'll be setting a lower low, and we could be expecting even lower targets than that. So if we stay above here, that's a good thing. If we break below it, that's a bad thing in my opinion. And like I said, we could probably dip below. I mean, we could probably get down to around 10.30, but around there is kind of pushing it. So like I said, let's go back to the daily time frame. We're watching this downtrend right here until we break that going to the upside. This is one of the targets that I'm looking at. The other one is the one we're sitting at, a pretty good one right here too. I think we have some support in this area and this area right here. So I mean, we do have some support that we are, like a support area, should I say, that we are sitting at right now, but we are still trending down. We haven't broken that. It does look like we're testing it. So let's wait and see. If we could break this trend line, then I'll change my sentiment a little bit, and we can start targeting maybe some of these previous resistance levels. But until then, I'm kind of looking at the level we're at right now pretty much. And then if we start breaking down, I'll be looking at more of this 12.50 area. But the one other place that I'm looking at is, like I was talking about in the beginning, we have support right here and support right here. Let's go back to the weekly time frame so we can see this a little bit better. Alright, so we have support right here and support right here, and we're looking at a trend line going up, something like this. So this is another thing that we might get support on, should I say. I'm kind of wondering if when we come into this area, if we keep trending down, let's go back to the daily, it kind of makes a little bit more sense. If we keep trending down and we hit this area right here, it's a little bit before this 1250 area. This one is sitting around 18. Let's go ahead and do some price labels. We'll do one right here. This is sitting around 18, and then this one is sitting around 1250. So these are the two levels that I'm watching until we break this trend line going to the upside. Like I said, what I really want to do is stay above this trend line, or this orange line right here. I think if we break below it, then we'll be setting a lower low, and that will be a bearish signal. If you're like me and you're planning on holding Polkadot for the long term, the way I like to do it is put it on Ledger Nano X, or it's one way that I like to do it. I have some staking on Kraken, and I have some on my Ledger Nano X. This is a good way to make sure it's secured. Make sure you have your own passphrase and your own keys. In my opinion, I just like having custody of my own coins. I think this is the most secure way to do it. The other way I like to do it, like I said, is staking. You could actually stake with the Ledger program. I haven't done it. I'm actually doing it on Kraken, but I do have some on the Ledger Nano X for long-term storage. I just think if you have a lot of crypto in general on an exchange, it's better to take it off and put it on a Ledger Nano X or some sort of hardware wallet, so you have the keys and you have your coins. This way, if anything happens to the exchange or anything like that, your crypto's safe and you don't have to worry about it. This is just for the long-term investor. Like I said, I'm holding some Polkadot long-term, so I put it on my Ledger Nano X. I have a little bit of staking on Kraken, and that's kind of my game plan. But if you want to help support the channel, you can buy a Ledger Nano X in the description. In my opinion, it'll benefit you and it'll benefit the channel. Alright, if you guys liked the video, hit the thumbs up.